Hey folks, welcome to my channel again. In this video, we will learn and practice how to build a simple CRUD application using Vaadin, SpringBoot, and PostgreSQL. This is the final output of the application. In this page, we will only have one view with two panels. In the top panel, we will have an input forms, and in the bottom panel, we will have a grid to show the data tables. Let's try the application. I will try to insert one data into the grid, like for example, John at mail.com. The name is John. Salary is 150000 from Department of Finance. Then submit it. Now John is created. It is shown in our grid. When I click this record, it will be shown in the form. I can also update this record. Like I want to change the name into John updated. Now it is updated. As you can see here, the name is updated. I can also delete this record by clicking the delete button. Now John record has been deleted. Okay, now let's start to build the project. In order to build the project, I'm gonna use Vaadin starter page by visiting start.vaadin.com. Then I'm gonna click this button, start a project. So basically in this page, we will be given a basic setting for building the application given by Vaadin. The app name, I'm gonna change it into Vaadin CRUD app, and the layout, I'll choose none because I don't need any basic or default layout from the Vaadin. Then download the project. For the artifact, I'm gonna use Vaadin CRUD app. For the group, com.wisconsult.app. Framework, I'll choose the latest Vaadin, which is 24.3, and the language is Java 21. For the build tool, we will choose npm, and the database, we will choose PostgreSQL. Once everything is set correctly, we will download this project. It is in the zip format, so it should be in my download directory. Let's see in the terminal. Grab Vaadin. So it's appear here. Let's open this project. Okay. Um, Within this page, within this project, we will be given two files from the Vaadin starter project, which is the main application, the main class to start our application, and also the default application.properties. Before we start the code, we are going to modify our pom.xml to add some dependencies. Let's continue to add the dependency. We will need Lombok to simplify the development, which is optional too. And then we will need SpringBoot auto configure. And the last we need Spring Boot Docker Compose. Alright, after we add the dependencies, I think let's add one more thing. I think we will need the flyway core for the migration. I think that is all for the dependencies. Now we can refresh the pom.xml by clicking this icon here. Dependencies now are loaded. Now let's continue to add the Docker Compose first for creating our database. Let's create our Docker Compose. We will create the new file here, docker compose.yaml. And then we can specify our requirement. From the version we want 3.8, and the services I want a database which is the image coming from Postgres 14 Alpine should be available, yes. And the container name is Vaadin CRUD FDB, and I want this Postgres to be mapped into a different port instead of 5432. So I want to put the mapping 5433 from the 5432. And the last part is I want to specify the credential, username, and also the DB name via environment. Postgres user for the username is pgadmin, and then Postgres password for the password is, oh no, it's wrong. It should be Postgres, and this one should be pgadmin, and the last one is Postgres db equals to Vaadin CRUD app db. I should be able to run this. Yep, the container run, and make sure if you want to run this container, your Docker engine is started on your local. Now we want to start to create our entity. Our entity is employee. So on GPA, entity should be annotated with at entity, and the table name is employee. It should be require an ID. Yes. I want to remove the getter setter because it will be provided by Lombok. And also I don't want this from sequence. I want this from the identity. Let's specify some another fields like email. At email, I want this to be unique at column unique true. I know it's not at email. Right now we want to add the name and also salary, and also address. Last touch, we will require a getter setter which is provided by Lombok. Right. Now complete it for the model. And after we created the model, we want to create it a repository, which is employee repository here. All right. Employee repository is now completed. For the database stuff, just one thing that needs to be completed, which is providing the migration, which we are going to provide via Flyway. In order to provide the database migration, we are going to create the directory which is called db/migration, and we can provide our SQL file to run the database migration. I want this file name as v1 underscore underscore. So in Flyway, you need to specify underscore underscore after you provide the version. Like initial migration dot SQL. We want to auto generate this via GPA body from the employee table. Let's see. The ID is big integer generated by default as identity and non-null, and it is also marked as a primary ID. And we have email which is unique, And then we have name, we have salary from the decimal. I think it's not decimal, it's better to use a numeric 10.2, and the last field is address. After we completed the migration script, now we want to set our application properties. The first thing is from the data source URL. This one should be 5433. Our DB name from the Docker Compose is Vaadin CRUD app DB, and our username is Postgres. I just want to copy this, and the password is pgadmin. And in order to use the Vaadin instead of GPA Entity Manager migration by default, so I need to set this into false. Okay. If everything is set correctly, I should be able to run this project. Okay, let's see if it works. All right. Now I can see that we can open this application. It says that there is no views found. We are going to use this example as a starter in our code to create a view. Let's get back to our IDE. Let's create a new file which is called main view. Main view will require a root. Its main root, it's extending vertical layout. Because we want to display the data from the employee table, then we will need the repository. Here we want to inject the employee repository into this view by using final constructor. Private final employee repository. It is red because we do not create the constructor yet. Once the constructor has injected our employee repository, it will not be complained again. But there is another warning says that it should be a transient. Then we can put a transient keyword here. Now it should be good. After we completed this repository, now we want to create the view. The view should be coming from the employee fields. Let's check the employee fields. It has ID, email, name, salary, and address. Then if I put everything in one form, I will need the grid first. Private a grid from employee bin. Let's put the name as a grid, employee grid, and I want to display the ID in the form which should be able to be displayed from the text field, not AWT, but from the Vaadin I text field ID. And next, I want to display the email field, uh, email field, email, and then what else? Name, salary, and address. Name, I can use text field instead. Text field name. Next, I want to display salary. Then salary should be displayed as a number. In Vaadin, we have big decimal field as a salary. Big decimal field salary. And the next we have address. Also from text field. Private text field address. And I don't want to put everything, all the code within this constructor. I will put into another method which is called setup components. We will create a setup components here, which is indicating everything related to the components. And after that, we will need a setup listeners, which is used for listening the actions that will be done by each component within our view. Setup listener also can be created automatically via IDE. Yes, both methods we will use to make our UI has functionality. Now I want to put the setup components in the first order instead of the setup listeners because we are going to set up the UI first. First thing first, I want to provide the form like an ID transfer text field ID is a new text field with label ID text field ID dot set label ID. Then email field email is also email field email dot set label email. Then we have a text field name is a new text field name dot set label name and big decimal field salary is a new big decimal field salary dot set label salary. Last field should be text field address. Text field address is a new text field address dot set label address. These components should be put into a form. Then we need to create a form layout, final form layout, a new form layout dot set responsive steps, new responsive steps. We will not be focused on this, just put the default value with what it requires, the column and minimum fields. I want only one column with a default minimum field, and let's put everything mentioned on top of form layout will be put under form layout. Form layout dot add text field ID, form layout dot add text field email, form layout dot add name, text field name, form layout dot add big decimal field salary, form layout dot add text field address. Then this form layout should be added into the main view itself, which is the vertical layout. We can use add form layout. Let's see what is it generated here. Yes, we have the form actually, but it is not in a good format. We will put some class to put this form with the maximum width, and also it will be in the center of the form, in the center of the web here. So in order to bring this form in the center of the web and also minimize its width, we can use some styling in Vaadin. Let me show you from the form first. I want to set the item set align self alignment center for the form layout. Let's see, and then I want this form layout with the maximum width like kind of 30% with the percentage unit. Yep, now the form is quite good. Under the form, I want to put the. I think we need the title on top of the form first. So let us put a title. I want this using h2. H2. Title is new h2 with title Vaadin CRUD application. Add title. Let's see. It's not in the center. I want to put this in the center also, like using set align self alignment center from the title. Yep, now it is in the center. After form, I want to put two tables. I mean two buttons to delete and also to submit. Delete will be in the left and submit will be in the right. Alright, because our button will be in the horizontal format, not in the vertical format, which is in the left one will be delete button and the right one will be submit button. Then we will need to provide a new container for the horizontal layout, which in the Vaadin we can use horizontal layout. Like I want to show you horizontal layout, like an action panel. Let's put the name action panel here, equals to new horizontal layout. This actual action panel will be will set the content mode, will set the justify content mode into between, because we need to separate between a delete and submit button in the correct space.
Okay, now let's continue to create our submit and delete button. We want this to be accessible from the class, so that I want to put it here: private button submit button, private button delete button. Then let's define our submit button is a new button submit button dot add theme variance as a primary. Then delete button is a new button with label delete, and delete button dot add theme variance error lumo error. Then we want to put those two buttons inside the action panel by using action panel dot add delete button, action panel dot add submit button. Then we want to put the action panel inside the form by using form dot add action panel. Let's see. Yep, now we have a submit and delete button. After we completed create our delete and submit button, so now let's continue to create our grid. Employee grid is a new grid coming from the employee bins, and I don't want the column name to be directly set by this grid, so let's set it into false. I want to define the column by my own. Employee grid dot add column from the employee dot get id dot add dot set header is id. Employee grid dot add column employee get email dot set header is email. Employee grid dot add column employee get salary dot set header salary employee grid dot add column employee get address dot set header address. The grid is completed. Now let's continue to add the data or the list into our employee grid. This list information can be fetched or selected from the repository layer. So let's call the database from repository layer by using employee repository dot final employee grid dot set items employee list. If everything set properly, now we will be able to have a grid with the headers that already defined here.
Let's see the result. Oh, I think we missed one statement to add the grid into the main layout. So let's add this, add employee grid. Let's refresh this one. All right, now we have this employee grid with the columns that we already defined previously. Now I want to add the data so that those data will be displayed within our grid. So I need to access the database via data source connection here. It's 5433, username is Postgres, password is pgadmin, database name Vaadin, CRUD, appdb. Let's test the connection. Okay, looks good. Insert into employee with values. Email is john@mail.com. Name is John, and the salary is 1 million, and the address is New York. I think we already have the data. When I refresh this page, the data will be shown into our grid. And the next step is when I click this row here, I want to display the data here into our form. So in order to do that, let's put a listener into our employee grid. Add selection listener. Let's say it's listener dot get first selected item. It says that we are going to have an optional of employee. Final optional employee optional. If employee optional that is present, let's bring the data into our form. The first data is ID, continued by email, name, salary, and address. Text field ID dot set value. Before that, we want to get the employee data directly instead of optional. Final employee is employee optional dot get. So in order to set the ID field here, I want to get from the employee ID. Get ID. Next, after ID, wait, it is string, but the representative data is long. We can wrap by using string dot value of. Next is email. Text email, tf email dot set value employee.get email. After email we have name, text field name dot set value employee.get name. Their name is salary dot set value employee.get salary. And the last one is address. Yeah, address dot set value is employee.get address. If this is set properly, I think we can have the data. Make sure that this listener is also invoked from the constructor. I think it is correct. So let's try to run the application. When I click this row, it should be present in here if there is no any error. Yep, then it works now. After this step, in the next step, we want to add a listener for submit and delete. I think we kind of forget to set the value into this new employee. So in order to set the value into the new employee, we can do this by setting the properties for the new employee. New employee dot set email is from email dot get value. New employee dot set name dot get value. New employee dot set salary dot get value. New employee dot set address. All right, let's see what happened. Now let's try to add the new data again. Do at mail.com. Oh no, do at mail.com. It's do. Salary is 2 million. Address is Chicago. Then submit. Yep, it works, but our address is missing here. It's kind of missing. So what happened? Yeah, I set the wrong data into the address field. So it should be coming from address, which is text field address dot get value. Let's try again. Let's try again. Now I want to put David at mail.com. It's David. Salary is 3 million. Address is Washington. Then submit. Cool. After we completely have the submit button, now let's continue to add the listener for the delete button. Delete button dot add click listener delete button will require an ID, so that I want to get the ID from the text field ID first. String ID is text field ID dot get value. If is blank, if it's not is blank, from the blank, hold on, I want to import this from the Apache. If it's not blank the ID, then we can start the deletion. First I need to get the employee first. Final employee is employee repository dot point by ID. It's ID. Find by ID. It's ID here. It will be returning optional employee. Then it's wrapped into the long. If employee dot is present, then let's do the deletion. Employee repository dot delete employee dot get. Then after that I want to update the value in the list. Employee grid dot set items employee repository dot find all. I think there is something missing that we need to set the notification. We need to display a notification when an operation is completed. Let's create the method here to show the notification. Void show notification with the argument message. Final notification is a new notification. Notification dot set text from the message. Notification dot set duration. I think it's 50,000 millisecond is enough. Notification dot set position dot button start, and notification dot set theme. Not theme. What is that? Variant. Hold on. I need to find the keyword. Just kind of forget about that. Add theme first. Add theme variants. Lomo primary. I think it should be parameterized. So I will put this in here. A notification variant. Notification variant and notification dot open. If we successfully delete the record, then show notification success delete employee with variant error. And also once we successfully create an employee, we can also put the notification success create employee with success variant. Then let's see what happened. Let's try to delete record number 3. Yep, record number 3 is deleted. But there is something missing. There is something that is not good here. I think we need to clear the form. So I want to create a method to clear the form after we successfully delete or submit. So let's create a clear form method for it. Clear form. Clear form means I want to set everything in the form into a blank value. Dot set value blank email email dot set value blank, then also name dot set value blank, and then salary set value null because this is big decimal, and then address dot set value blank. After show notification, clear the form. After show notification, then clear the form. I think it's wrong. Let's clear the notification first before we show the notification. Let's see what happens. Now I want to add a new data again. The name was David at gmail.com. David, salary is 3 million. Address is Chicago. Right, we successfully created employee. Now I want to delete this. Let's try to delete. Yes, we get the notification success delete, and also the form is clear. Now the last part is updating this record. So when we click this record, we should be having an ID here. Then this ID can be an identifier to identify if this record is already present or not. So in order to implement that, we need to check before we do the save method, before we call the save method. So we need to find the employee first. Final employee, existing employee is employee repository dot find by ID is coming from textbook ID dot get value, should be long and it should be optional. If existing employee dot is present, then new employee change the ID into existing employee dot get ID. Otherwise, use the old employee. You can simplify like following. Alright, let's do try again. Let's try to update this record. I want to change the name into John Doe. John Doe. Submit. Sorry, I think we don't have a name field. We miss name field here. Let's put the name field into the grid. Grid. Employee grid. Okay, dot add column employee get name, set header name. Let's update again. Yes, we have John Doe. Let's update John Doe into John Doe updated. Submit. I think the notification is not correct. We need to update the notification. Instead of success update and success create employee, we want to change it into success update employee. No, it's better success upsert employee. Other than that, I want to show the position into the top start, top center. Top center is fine. Hold on. In the middle, what about top center? Yes, I think top center is good. I want to update into the original value again. John. Submit. Right. Success upsert employee. So let's try the whole thing again. David at mail.com. David. Salary is 2 million. Address is Washington. Submit. Hold on, there is a problem here. Yeah, there is a problem when we do not have a value from this text field. So we need to check if is blank text field id dot get value. Then if it's not blank, if it's not blank, then do this. Let's try again. Yes. Okay, David at mail.com. Name is David. Salary is 2 million. He's from Washington. Then submit. Cool. We have David at mail.com. We want to update it into like um, do submit, it's updated, and then we also want to delete the first record. Try to delete it. Delete. Yep, I think that's all. Our application for the Vaadin CRUD app has already completed. Thank you for watching the video. See you on the next one.